Good day, colleagues, and a warm welcome to our clients that are dialing from the different parts of South Africa. Today marks an important milestone in the treasury management cycle. Just to recap, what have we achieved so far? We've engaged with more than 350 clients in the last 2 years. We've done 140 demos, and we've also unlocked 440 million rand of incremental money back to our clients as a result of our clients using this platform. To add to it, we continue to add new features. That includes the ability to move money once the treasury has made a call in terms of where they want to place their funding. But before we get to the details today, I would like to invite a subject matter expert and a thought leader in the industry. Her name is Gillian van Dijk. Gillian is a seasoned transactional banker with 25 years of experience in transactional banking, encompassing collections, payments, and the reconciliation in the world of fintech. Her exposure is extended across both sectors within the borders of SA, as well as across borders internationally. Gillian's interactions have also spanned across buying influences across organizations, including CFOs, CIOs. With a comprehensive understanding of the financial administration lifecycle, Gina will share some thoughts and insight about the challenges facing most treasury teams today. Without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Gillian to give us some insight.
Thank you so much, Lutando, for that warm welcome. Good day, colleagues, clients, and thank you very much for inviting me to share some of my experiences across the many facets of treasury and all the different insights I've gained over the years when it comes to being a treasurer or operating in a treasury environment. Through the eyes of our clients, when it comes to an organization and your sustainability, we all know that profit is the ultimate goal. What I'd like to position, however, is that whilst profit is the concept, in actual fact, cash flow is the reality. And in most corporate organizations, a form of a treasury function has been developed. It's often given different naming conventions: balance sheet management, treasury and cash management, central finance, whatever it may be. For the purposes of my sharing session now, I'm going to refer to us as treasury and treasurers. The treasury function is the essential heartbeat of any organization. When it comes to daily cash flow monitoring, making sure that interest is optimized and that cash can flow across the organization, treasurers often have to cope with the demands of doing things as a support function and very much under critical time pressures. Let me give you an example, but before I do that, I want to encapsulate 3 very key themes that are very prevalent when it comes to operating in a treasury environment. The role of the treasurer and the treasury team can be summed up in 3 themes. The first being that of visibility. The second, mobility. And the ultimate goal, that of optimization. So what exactly are we talking about? And in all the years that I've worked with clients across Standard Bank, we've encountered treasury teams that have a very critical function. And the first and most important thing every single day is about getting to the office early, pulling bank statements from multiple sources, usually having multiple online applications across banks, across continents, in order to take all the bank information, plug it into an Excel spreadsheet, and present the consolidated cash flows for the business by a critical time, usually 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. That is often a manual process, fraught with risk, open to error, and naturally even has key man dependencies. Over and above just having visibility of the opening cash positions, having the ability to cash flow forecast is critical for a lot of our clients. Often the treasury teams are asked to do cash flow forecasting, and they really rely on a lot of input from the various business units. However, if treasurers are able to get insight into cash flow over periods of time, cash flow forecasting starts becoming a past behavior, future prediction story. And it certainly makes it easier if all of that cash flow forecasting can come out of statistics and data that's been gathered over time through a central data source. When we look at the theme of mobility, the capability of moving funds intraday in as near real time as possible, or even just being able to mobilize cash and then invest it in order to optimize returns, is critical for a treasury team. So now that we've dealt with visibility and mobility, the treasury team can then go ahead and engage with their banking partners to optimize their cash, be it in a local currency or even be it in some form of foreign currency, along with mitigating the foreign exchange risk. A lot of treasurers and treasury teams have even come to their banks and said, help us with these challenges. That is what the Standard Bank TreasuryOnline team has done. We've gone and built a platform for treasurers by treasurers. And we've made sure that we've listened to what our clients have asked for. Through the use of this platform, we're able to help our clients. And some of you might already have been exposed to the visibility portion of our TreasuryOnline platform. That has been up and running, and the team will tell you about how exciting that has been so far. The next part of the webinar is going to focus on the newest features, which are more about the mobility theme. How those funds can now be translated into something that is physical movement of cash, or translation of FX exposures, or even the ability to have dashboards that assist with the cash flow forecasting. At the end of the day, treasurers and treasury teams rather want to be positioned as a center of excellence for the organization, rather than just hurry up, support me, and release my payments. I really hope you enjoyed this webinar as much as I've enjoyed seeing how we can help you as the treasurer and treasury teams of our clients and organizations to really optimize your organization's treasury function. I'm going to hand you back to Lutando now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gillian, for that wonderful insight in terms of what's happening in the treasury world. To bring it back home, we would like to showcase the new features that we'll be rolling out in the next couple of days. Remember, the key theme is around mobility and optimization of liquidity. We're going to kick off with mobility. You now have visibility of your cash. What do you then do? Do you defund? Do you invest? How do you do that? And the TMS team today will walk you through the different features on a real life scenario. I've got Nick, just to recap in terms of what we've done in MVP1 around visibility and some of the enhancements we've made to make sure that platform is secure and we limit the segregation of futures to the right users of the platform. So without further ado, I'd like Nick to take over from here and run with the session.
Hi everyone. So this is the TreasuryOnline system. This is accessed by OneHub. This is touching on your visibility piece, and this is going to give you your cash position and that visibility that's so important. We'll be following on from the visibility piece with the mobility piece of things. But ultimately, this is where you access via OneHub, select the company that you need to administer, and this will bring you up to your dashboard. We'll go into further detail on your dashboard later. I think a very important point for any treasurer is that you want to delegate authority, and this is done in the company administration tab. So we'll always start off with the company administration and looking at the company's structure. So each company is set up differently. You can have your divisional setup, however many entities. There's no limit on how we can set this up. It can be as flat or as detailed as you like. It's quite a simple drag and drop should you need to make edits later. But this can be set up in either your legal structure, your reporting structure, and however you require this to be done. On all of these divisions, you have subsidiaries, and we'll be able to allocate access to different users as you require for each subsidiary, for each division, or for the company as a whole. This is all done under the Permissions tab, and you can assign roles, report access, company access, or account access. We'll start with company access. If we go here to one of our users, Lutando, he's had a he was fortunate enough to give us that great introduction, and everything we've got here is what he has access to on the system right now. It's as simple as clicking and saving to make any changes that you require. Each individual will have company access as well as account access, and that's again under the permissions tab. So the aim of this is so that should there be any sensitive data, or of course, if a person is only working for one division, they'll only be able to have their access for that one specifically. You can see here that Latanda doesn't have access to the salaries account, as well as the Johannesburg accounts in Rivonia. Now that we've seen the company and account access, you'll be able to assign roles to each and every user within the system. There's no limit to the number of users, as well as no additional charges or anything of that sort. The system is designed for one company, and you can have as many users, divisions, entities as you like. So underneath the user admin here, you can see that Latanda has access to cash visibility here under cash management. He has foreign exchange access. However, he doesn't have forecast. He doesn't have the forecast access. So you can see here that each user can have exactly what you need from them. If they are limited to view only, that can be applied. If they have full user access, they can also have it here. So this will then filter into what each user sees under cash management. But we have the full picture here. So this is where you get to view everything. So underneath cash management, bank account balances, this is your one-stop shop. This is your start of your day, make your life easier. There's no 9 different banking platforms. Everything can be seen under this. Your standard bank accounts will be coming directly every 15 minutes via an API. Your agent bank accounts will be coming at the close of the day via an MT940 statement. If any bank is SWIFT enabled, so answer the question which will come up, I'm sure, you'll be able to have African bank balances in the system, worldwide bank balances. As long as the bank is SWIFT enabled, they'll be able to send their MT940 statement to Standard Bank, and they'll be automatically uploaded into the system, and you'll be able to have a full picture every morning of your current position. You can filter this by entity as well. So if you only want to see one division at this present moment, you can only see the one division. And of course, each user, as we've mentioned, if they've got specific access, they'll only be able to see what they have access to. You can also see the specific transactional data within each account. There is this shortcut, which is by cash management transactional data, or on the bank account screen itself. Should something flag up to you, that account doesn't look like it should be at that position, you can just select over here to view the transactions. Select the date from which you want to see the transactions, and it will come up with all of the transactions on the system. You can export this to Excel or to PDF, as well as categorizing all of these different transactions. While that loads in the background, we can move on to the cash forecasting module, which is what you're required to see what you want to do with your cash that you have, and what's required going forward. This is set up as you want it to be set up. So I'll just give you an example here. The categories on the far left-hand side when we get there. Over here can be set up with exactly what you need and you require. This is not limited. Again, there's no limit on the number of categories. Sometimes it's simpler and easier to view things with less categories, but this depends on you and your requirements as a company. So you can see here, these are the generic ones that we have in the system. And you can also go further forward and input your forecasts as you require them. Another audit principle that we have in the system is that you'll be able to see who edited this, who predicted the forecasting for this. So let's say we're going to put a cash sale here. You can see automatically that makes a change over there. Cost of sales comes through the following day. Oh, perhaps one too many zeros. And you can see once we put that in, it also updates the requirements for the following day. These balances brought forward are coming from your cash visibility, from your bank account balances. And this is your full picture of exactly what's required going forward. This is a non-consolidated view for a specific division. So this would be where a user has access to the division to forecast. They'll be able to go into here, select their forecasts. You can set up the cutoff dates and requirements that you want in your company. So should there be a limit to what time in the morning these forecasts have to be in, you can put them in over there. And of course, once you want to see the full picture, you'll be able to view this as a holding company and in a consolidated view. This allows you to see all of the forecasts of all of your divisions in one place and see your group position, where you are, what you need, and what's coming up in the future. You don't want any surprises. So you've got your fantastic visibility piece now. You can really see exactly what you need, where it is, what's coming up in the future. And then of course you'll be able to transact and move around what you need going forward with your mobility piece, which is coming up shortly. Your dashboard over here, this is your landing page as we saw. This is where all of the information comes together in one place. You'll be able to see this by division, as well as a consolidated view. So you could see Division 1, for example. This is their specific view. This is exactly what they have in their bank at the moment and what their cash flow forecast picture looks like going forward. You could also see the holding company, what's in their banks, what's going forward. And again, the user access piece here is exactly what you need so that each individual has the access rights that they require to complete their job as well as possible. So once you're able to see exactly where your money is, your visibility is great, you're excited about where you are, you want to be able to start moving your money around, and this is where our mobility piece comes in. So I'll hand over to my colleague Sonia, and she can continue with the demo.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for Nick for introducing Treasury Online. With all the critical management information at hand with regard to visibility, we're now going to move over to our second theme, which is mobility, as well as linking it to optimization. With inter-account transfers, you have the capability to move funds within Standard Bank accounts. By selecting the entity, you can select the account that you want to move funds from. We'll input the amount. We'll select the account to which we are moving the funds, as well as the statement reference that you can use down the line should you wish to interrogate your bank statement. Again, one of the key things of Treasury Online is having built in certain checks. So in this case, there is one level authorizer built in, so you can select the authorizer that you want to, should it be a requirement that you want to authorize this transaction in particular. Once it's been submitted, it will give you the status the transfer has been submitted and an email has been sent to the selected authorizer. We will then select done. I'm just going to scroll over to my email. So what the user will see is an inter-account transfer requiring authorization. By clicking on that, he can then authorize the transaction. The browse function allows you to see all the transactions that's in transfer for the day. So if we look at this, it will show you the different statuses. For instance, This transaction that we've done, the latest one, will show pending authorization until it's authorized. The second user then have the option either to edit or cancel or authorize. Once it's authorized, it will move from pending authorization to submitted. Should you wish to reject, it will show as rejected. Or if you approve, it will move it to submitted to Standard Bank. On completion of the transaction, it will come back with the status as success. So through the browse function, you can get a clear view of the status of all your transactions for the day and which requires any further action. We're just going to submit, let's just for demonstration purposes, should you want to reject this transaction, you have the option to put in a comment. Once you've done that, it will then also generate an email to the capturer to tell them you have rejected the payment as well as the reason for the payment and the action required thereafter. That concludes our inter-account transfers. A reminder to post any questions to the chat throughout the presentation. I'm now going to move over to the Forex module as well as the risk management. With Forex, it again gives you one platform where you can monitor and have visibility of your exposures as well as all your foreign exchange hedges. There is the capability for anyone within the divisions of, within the divisions of the company to capture the request for cover by adding the salient details of the transaction. We select the entity and we'll select division 1. In this instance, it's for an import, it's a sale. The deal currency, we'll select dollars. Because it's coming from within at this point, we would not have the exchange rate. And we will save the details. A reminder that we need to input the dollar amount. And at this point, there is no spot rate. Through the request for cover, within the company, the various divisions can add the requirements. We will select the entity that's applicable. In this case, we will select division 1. In this instance, it's for an import. We'll select the deal currency and we'll select US dollars. Establishment date is today. We'll make it a spot, so we'll go for 2 days. Value the 21st. And we'll save the transaction. The request for cover gives the opportunity to the various divisions to add the request. Select the entity as division 1. In this instance, it's for an import. We'll select the deal currency as US dollars. The establishment date as today, or due date spot. We will input the US dollar amount, foreign amount. And we can then proceed to save the transaction. The Treasury can then view all these requests for covers, consolidate them, and then through the functionality, capture, once they've executed the deal with the counterparty, capture the deal on the system as well. So we're going to add the bank contract. Again, select the entity, in this instance, division 1. That's for imports. We'll select the dealing currency, which is US dollars. In dealer, we'll input the name of the dealer. We'll capture the foreign amount. Because we've transacted with the bank now, we will input the deal rate. Call it 18. As well as the counterparty, we will select bank 2 and the counterparty deal reference number. We'll select test 1. There's also the functionality, the option to upload any document should it be required. We can now proceed to save the transaction. Okay, again, the checks built in to make sure that your deal date and your due dates are aligned. Now that we have both the internal and the external deal, you can then proceed to match or link the two. What will then happen is so we're going to select for division 1. It will give us a view of all the foreign currency transactions that we've entered into. I'm going to select due date for the 21st and just refresh. So what should be visible on the screen now are all our unlinked requests for covers, as well as our unlinked counterparty contracts. So if we select the one that we've just done, the 1.5, it will all, it's actually the second one. What is displayed on the screen is the amount of the contract, should any amount have been allocated already, and what the balance is. So we can see there's a remaining 1.5 on this FEC, which we can then, must be selected and update. The system will then update the transaction, as we can see, to say it was for 1.5. We've allocated 1.5, so there's the remaining balance is 0 on this external contract. And then for any request for covers, there's nothing displayed, so all our requests for covers have been linked. Each module is supported by a suite of standard reports. For instance, if you look at our foreign exchange reports, we should be able to run our foreign exchange exposure. And the date option I'm going to select here is, we basically want to see everything that we've traded before today and that expires after today. And I'm going to run the report. Again, the visibility of all your foreign exchange exposures. So for instance, also in terms of the structure that you've set up. So we can see for Cape Town currently has an exposure of 5 million for November in US dollars. Division 1, we have internals of 5 million. We have covered a portion of that. There's externals of 1 million. However, we still left with a balance of 4 million there. Again, vital management information to allow us to make decisions should we want to cover and proceed for the October period that all our positions are covered. As with all the reports, we have the option to export the reports. So you can simply click on export and select the form that you'd want, whether it's Excel as well as PDF. The module that goes hand in hand with foreign exchange is our risk management section. What this section allows you is to monitor your positions across the company as well as in line with your treasury policy. Should you have certain requirements in terms of your treasury policy, in this instance, we're going to select US dollars. So we can see for US dollars, our treasury policy requires us for the time bracket of 1 month to be 100% hedged. For the 4-month bracket, 65%. We can then get a full picture of our exposure as well as our hedges. If we look at the bucket for the 1st of December, what we can see is that we have exposures equaling $5 million US. The exposure rate, it also shows us that currently we've only covered 600,000 US, hence an open position of 4.4 million. We also have the functionality to perform what-if analysis. So should we want to cover a portion of that, what will that do to our position? And we will cover it currently at 18. The projected profit and loss is 2 million. However, we still have an open position of 2.4. And in terms of our policy, we've just moved to being 52% hedged. Again, an option for management to make the critical decisions should they want to proceed to cover their positions. A summary of this is also available. So this gives us a view of our foreign exchange exposure. So currently for US dollars, our forecast indicates that we have a forecast of US dollars 15 million. However, our hedges at this point is 24 million. If we then again view that together with our treasury policy, what the requirement is, which is indicated by the red line, and our hedge percentage, the actual, it will show you how close we are to the policy, where there are bridges, again, making it easy for management to make decisions on how to correct the various positions. We also have the option to see at what the rates that we have hedged our positions at versus what the current market rates are, the effectiveness of the various hedges. As with all our dashboards, again, it can be customized to particular users by selecting the option. You can select or deselect what you want to see on your screen. So with the foreign exchange and risk management modules, treasurers have visibility of their hedges as well as their foreign currency positions across the entire entity. This allows them to monitor performance against their treasury policy and also to perform what-if analysis and stress testing, thereby minimizing their risk for the future. The next module we will look at is interest rate products. So linking to the theme of mobility, through the interest rate product module and the pricing and trading, we are able to get live quotes from Standard Bank at this current state for term deposits as well as call deposits, with NCDs and notice deposits up and coming. From the options available on the screen, we will select the tenure that we're interested in. In this case, I'm going to select 365 days. I'm going to complete the entity, the division, as well as the amount, and get quote. As you can see immediately, a quote is received on screen. You can then decide whether you want to accept or cancel the quote. Should you want to proceed, we just complete the remainder information and accept the quote. The deal confirmation, the status is successful. It just indicates the details of the trade. Term deposit from 2022 to 2023 for 10 million Rand at an all-in rate of 8.15. Again, as with many of the options on the platform, you can export this to PDF and keep it, as a record for yourself. In this instance, this trade will automatically update in the interest rate product module. This facility is also available for call deposits. The rates we see quoted on here relates to new clients and new trades. However, should you be an existing client, it will be quoted in line with the existing arrangements in place. We will just select new trade, complete the information as required on screen. In this case, we're going to deposit to a call account the amount of 10 million, and it will come from that particular account. We will submit. Should you wish to transact with one of your agent banks, you have the option to capture the details of the trade in this instance. In this particular case, if it's a call deposit, your landing page will give you your current position. So we can see for Division 1, we have a call with Bank 1. If we select that particular trade, and if you want to transact on that, we will select interest and amount changes. Start date, we will select today. And if we refresh, you will then be able to update the transaction by selecting the day. The action in this case, we want to invest an additional amount of, call it 10 million. And you will be able to save this then as well. Similarly, for liabilities, for overnight borrowings or term deposits, if we go to account details, you may add any new loan facilities that you do have. This takes care of all the salient details of the facilities. Again, if you want to transact on an existing one, you would select the transaction in question. And by selecting interest and amount changes, you can then update the required action for the day. Because the salient details are in already, it will populate already what is expected. In this instance, we can see in this particular trade, there is a monthly capitalization that happens, and the system will automatically knows what to do with that trade. So in this instance, we will draw down an additional 40 million, and you can then proceed to save in that for that particular trade. Again, the suite of reports that support the module. We're going to select all instruments, a statement. This report is quite useful should you want to reconcile your movements with your counterparty. Just selecting a few days. What this will give you are all the movements for each of your assets and liabilities. We can see in this instance for Bank 1, we had a deposit of 15 million. Interest rates are displayed together with the daily interest as well as the interest accrued. Again, the option to export should you wish to export that. Okay, and just another report. It's also useful if you want to see a summary of all your interest rate products as at a particular date. In this instance, it's an as at date, so we will just say as at today. And if we run the report, it should display all our assets and liabilities, in particular for this division that we're trading under. All the salient details, the trade date, maturity date, currency, interest rate, the balance, as well as accrued interest. So through the interest rate products, again, it gives you a platform for you to view the visibility again, as well as the mobility to transact through the interest and pricing model. So that concludes our demonstration of the interest rate products. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, Zonia. Just to jump in a little bit and expand around some of the functionality that we're discussing today, as you've alluded to the fact that we've implemented the FX and risk management module, which is fantastic for clients to track their performance against their treasury policy. But I'd like to zoom in around the interest rate products module, which gives the ability for clients to manage their interest rate products digitally. We've obviously implemented the ability to digitally execute our transactions for overnight deposits and withdrawals, as well as terming out the cash for a longer period. All the pricing is on the system. This is a game changer, especially for South Africa, because we know globally money market products are generally traded over the phone or via email. And Standard Bank has really taken it to the next level to be able to digitize that entire workflow of trade execution for these money market products, and subsequent accruals and position management that happens after that is centrally done on the TreasuryOnline platform. So we're excited about this new launch of this new module. So we're looking forward to having our clients utilizing it to automate their treasury processes. I would like to hand over now to Craig, who's going to facilitate some of the questions that have emanated out of this discussion. Over to you, Craig.
Thank you for everyone who's joined us today. What a fantastic session it's been. Let's take some of the questions that we've received earlier. So, Latanda, the first question is for you. How do traditional liquidity management solutions like cash pooling work with TreasuryOnline?
That's a brilliant question, Craig. The whole point of TreasuryOnline is to actually mirror the liquidity management piece from a banking point of view. So you can think of it as a front end or a gateway that gives you full visibility of your cash as and when transactions are happening in the bank. In the CMA countries where we have a common currency, it's easier for treasurers to centralize their liquidity within a central hub, preferably South Africa because of its maturity of the products. So Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, and to some extent some of our SADC regions are able to participate in the liquidity management of the system.
Second question is also for you, Lou. What is the plan for rolling out TreasuryOnline to Africa markets?
The best way to look at it is that our clients are multinationals. They've got presence outside of South Africa, and they want a consistent service across the different regions they operate. The intention was to land the MVP1 in South Africa with a view to roll it out to other countries where both our clients and Standard Bank have the same footprint. Next year, we will be rolling out the key features of MVP2 to those markets. But then again, the greatest value to African markets is that for the first time, there'll be a platform where our clients can transact, book trades, manage their risk, and optimize their liquidity using a single platform end-to-end.
Transactability of money market products is great. Are there any plans for FX trading? Msidi, can you take that question?
Thanks, Craig, for the question. That's a fantastic question. We are actually in the process of enabling the execution of our spot and forward transactions on the platform. But of course, it takes a little bit of time because we've got to seek central bank approval in order to put execution of FX products onto our digital platforms. So as soon as those conversations and those approvals have been concluded, we'll certainly be enabling the solution, the functionality on the platform. So we'll put out a notice on the platform itself as soon as the functionality is available for our clients.
What are Treasury's biggest technology challenges? Gillian, can you take that one, please?
Thank you, Craig. Whilst treasurers faced a lot of challenges, coping with the demands of technology is a reality these days. Through the use of Standard Bank's TreasuryOnline platform, treasurers are able to extract data using a CSV extraction, typical Excel extraction, and that can then be used for onward submission throughout the organization for the rest of the team to use as they see fit. The ability to extract reports in a PDF version is also very useful to treasurers, and it really just helps them address the need to have everything through one single platform, being TreasuryOnline.
Thank you for everyone who sent through the questions. It's been really great engaging with you. We hope to chat with you soon, and over to you, Lou.
Colleagues and to our clients, we've now reached the end of the webinar. Thanks again to the wonderful speakers. The intention of today's webinar was to really focus on creating a center of excellence for our clients, focusing on 3 themes: visibility, mobility, and optimization of cash. There were some questions I want to answer today, but please reach out to our team on TreasuryOnline at standardbank.co.za. Have a wonderful day.